This is the Grasslands of Kenya. A beautiful sight to see. Amazing. Breathtaking. While my basement is not. Today, I'm going to show you something beautiful. The land is breathtaking. With all the sunsets and plains, the view is amazing, but the view is nothing without the animals and plants that are in that view. Let us go on an adventure in my basement. I didn't really mean what I said. I meant we're talking about the Grasslands of Kenya. There we go. The Grasslands of Kenya, an amazing place. Oh, so I'm told. It's here is a short list of animals you may find in the Grasslands of Kenya. In this amazing ecosystem, you'll find the including animals. Elephants, giraffes, zebras, rhinoceroses, buffaloes, lions, leopards, cheetahs, baboons, crocodiles, antelopes, murskrats, ants, termites, ostriches, and, most of all, snakes. You'll find these amazing, gorgeous creatures all in the Grasslands of Kenya. So, that was a really short list, right? Well, it may sound like a bit of a long list, but compared to how many animals the savannah and the grasslands have in Kenya, it is insane how small that is. All these animals interact with each other in what I like to call, well, let's just say my branding team is called food webs. Okay, everybody else calls it a food web, but just go with me here. I'm trying to make this look professional. This food web here shows the connection between all the animals, from the grass to the vulture and many more. Many more animals to look at. Well, I will say this food web is really good and it goes over quite a few things and details, but like I said before, there's a lot of animals in the grasslands. Like, a lot of animals. So many, in fact, this is an actual picture. Well, it's not an actual picture, but it's a close representation what a real food web for down to a science would look like for this. I'm not joking. Someone spent their life and energy making this. Well, back to the simple and better food web to talk about in this amazing documentary. Out of all the animals, I think they're the two best animals that are described in this food web, I would like to say, are the lion and the vulture. On the one hand, we have the lion, the big, strong king of the jungle. The lion seems like somewhat of a picky eater, only going for the biggest of bigs in all of the animals, just the rhinoceros and the giraffe. That's the only two. Even though the lion is the big king of the jungle, don't be too cocky. Literally every animal in this food chain is dangerous, and that is including the grass. Grass will kill you if you get too close. But on the other hand, we have vultures. I like to describe vultures, at least in this ecosystem, and basically any ecosystem, Mother Nature's way of using a vacuum cleaner, sucking up whatever she wants, just like, I know the food web doesn't show it all, but like, the vulture, basically, it'll eat anything on this food web. Literally, like, anything. Maybe not like the little small stuff like insects and maybe not mice, but it will literally eat anything that's dead on this food chain. So literally, if you made a food chain, you would have the big mess that I described earlier, and then at the very top in the corner, for some reason, all alone, literally every animal's line would be pointing to that. Except grass. You don't mess with grass. Okay, that's getting carried away. New topic. Climate! Yeah, that's a thing. The king of the grasslands is obviously the lion, but the second king is the weather. While temperatures are often crazy and extreme in some grasslands, the average temperatures vary from basically negative 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. So basically, during the day, you're burning, and during the night, you've turned into a tourist popsicle. With this extreme of negative 20 degrees Celsius and the 30 degrees Celsius makes the climate basically perfect for any really tough living organisms. It gives tons of heat and light and energy for all the plants that need to live there, which are basically like only a few plants, and I'll get into that later. The hint is that it's basically grass. Don't mess with grass. While the animals of the grasslands have other ways to adapt to the changes, with it being either cold or hot. Some animals roll in the mud to try and keep themselves from basically burning. There are many ways that the animals find shelter in this types of environment. Most animals, when they're trying to stay away from the cold, because they've already dealt with the heat, now they gotta deal the cold of the night. They'll basically deal with it by coming with each other and snuggling up. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not a lion and a baby grass. Two of a pair. Two lions. Okay, we're getting off topic again. The land, yeah. The land is a character of its own, to be honest. As you see down the path, there's tons of vegetation. And by vegetation, I mean there's basically 2 trees that you see. And they're both acacia. The few acacia trees can be spotted everywhere, basically. It's always in clumps, and there's basically none of them. This is mainly due to precipitation not allowing enough water to be there for the trees to grow. So that's why there's so much grass. The land is mainly flat, with little rocks and ruts everywhere that basically you can see, but most of the time it's flat. The main things you can get from the grasslands are, oil, livestock, I guess water, but the number one thing, and this is usually a thing you know a lot about in Saskatchewan, it doesn't really pertain to the Kenya grasslands because they're not freaking Saskatchewan, but the soil is rich in nutrients. Probably due to all the grass. The soil is so rich in nutrients, but honestly, if you ask me, the only reliable resource you're ever going to get going to on these safari trips is going to see a million white people with flashing cameras basically blinding every single animal there. It's insane. Most ecosystems are affected by humans in little ways, and slow changes over time becoming bigger problems. But the grasslands, human effect has hit it hard, really hard. Crazy amounts of people exploring and coming into the areas, and it kind of sucks because the animals have been being poached for years now, hundreds of years. Tons of people are basically starting huge grass fires to make room for land, for house building and also for farming and things like that, which is not really good for all the animals who rely on that food. But the amazing thing, even though there's been so much changed in the grasslands from us humans and our effect, the grasslands hasn't changed that much. It's still rocking on. The grasslands is basically the biggest change you will find there is that animals are basically due to the temperatures rising slightly due to global warming. There's less water and lots of trees are dying and lots of grass is basically becoming dry. Basically, the only difference is that animals are moving west. Not that big, but I hear you. That's a huge change. They have to move. Yes, they do, and it kind of sucks because if this keeps going, they're basically going to walk themselves right into the ocean. You thought your children never get to see a baby polar bear? Well, guess what? elephants are dead too. And also, less rainfall. That's another thing that's happening. I honestly can't really put a positive spin on this, other than the savannah, it just rocks. It rocks everything, from the amazing, like, scenery that it has, the amazing animals. What can we do? What's to be done? I don't know. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying you don't know what to do? Well, don't worry. I know. I might have made a little bit of a list. Sorry, that's my water. Here's my list. So, list of things you can do all the way in Canada. Number 1, respect, conserve grasslands where you live. Many people don't think grasslands and habitats are important as forests or wetlands. They are. Number 2, learn about savannas. Learn about grasslands. Learn about Kenya. The more you know, the more I know, the better. The more we're informed, the more we can know about the real problems and the solutions to guide us along. And this adds into the thing where us personally can't do, because you don't live in Kenya, and plus there's a little thing called quarantine. But if you live in Kenya and you're watching this, volunteer for a grassland pickup crew. That's simple. Or if there's none there, honestly, I probably should have looked that up if there is. Make one. Join one or make one. Because, honestly, it's very common for people to be burning these grasslands down, and also to be shooting the animals there and sort of messing with the whole ecosystem that has been set place and the entire life cycle of everything. Okay, this is literally like what I'm about to say. I'm honestly gonna say angers me so much. It's not that I don't agree with it, I just hate saying it. Use less plastics and burn less trash, and especially grass. Simple as that. Try and limit your wastage. And that's not just for Kenya, because Kenya, really, the wastage is only being put from Kenya into their national parks, but it's actually being cleaned up, so that's amazing. So that's good. Just overall, just try and clean up our act. You can do it. So apparently in my notes, I'm supposed to say goodbye. Well, this has been the Grasslands of Kenya, kinda cool, epic safari adventure time, super show, adventure, for kids. With me, Orky Porky. And as always, I'm forced to say everything that I do. Bye-bye. The circle of life